of the year, I took my scooter, and so now I've scootered in December and January, almost every day in December. Only I think missed one or two because of the weather. So it's better than some days in summer where we have thunderstorms and such. Anyway, ho ho ho! Still in the 12 days of Christmas. Let's have a little show for the first business day of the year. Here we go. Let's get over to Tom Fishburne, and he's got happy product returns. Free returns has become the new free shipping, which created a massive logistical headache for retailers, particularly in the weeks after Christmas. This year, shoppers in the U.S. returned 14.5% of the items they purchased, valued at $743 billion. They returned $743 billion? I don't know. We'll get the real details coming up. But as you know, many, including my family, consider the return policy part of their shopping strategy. So I think Kohl's is still taking Amazon back. I've never really had much of a problem with eBay. Usually they'll just say, here's a refund or keep or whatever. That's, it's small people, so it's really easy, and I don't complain unless there is a real problem. Sometimes there's a real problem, and I still don't really complain. I don't demand anything. Usually it's my fault. But, it must be. We're heading for $1 trillion problem, says Tom Enright of Gartner in the Wall Street Journal. So we'll reach out to Tom. The economics of product returns are brutal. Only 30% of all returned items are resold. And, of course, maybe not even at their cost of goods. Retailers are losing 50% of their margins on returns. Okay, it's a big problem. A recent survey from a logistics company found that 49% of retailers believe that product returns are a severe problem, up from just 2% a few years ago. That has some retailers like Zara and H&M starting to crack down on returns with a shorter return window, return fees, and even keep it policies. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm guessing that, we'll give you half the money back if you just keep it. That would actually be a net gain, right? If we returned half your money, especially it would only be good if you actually paid for it. So that would limit it. Customers are now trained to expect free returns and returns are every bit a part of the customer experience. Yep, I bought some shoes from Zappos and they fell apart. I mean, flat out, they just fell apart. But I'd had them a while, I wasn't claiming that they didn't fit. I was claiming that they fell apart, and they didn't care. They said that our policy, once you've worn them, is you keep them. And I've never bought from Zappos again, just FYI. This is a good reminder for brands and retailers to think about what they stand for beyond the lowest price or the biggest deal. And here's some fun stuff. 5 stages of price promotions from July. Okay, we don't discount. This is a premium brand. The spike in sales would be nice. Once you start, it's hard to stop. Buy one, get two sale. This is denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. That's the stages of grief also. Okay, good news. We finally found a way to offer deeper discounts than our competitors for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I think we can go deeper. Going out of business sale. Now, we were once tricked into going into a retailer because he had a sign that said going out for business sale. It was on our honeymoon and we were young and foolish and we bought matching t-shirts from Bonita Beach, Florida, with palm trees and such. It wasn't a bad deal. I had to give him credit. So you change the out to for business, and you can make this work. Okay. 12 days of Christmas. Deals a dealing, sells a selling. With free shipping, price promotions, buy one, get ones, cut rate coupons, half price offers, clearance sales, discount codes, markdowns, giveaway, and lots of devalued brands under the tree. Right, exactly. You know, I tried to shop from J. Crew, and every time you know, like I had a discount code, but it didn't work because it was $49.95 and it needed to be $50. So I put another item in, which then had a different discount code and was actually only like a $50 item for $11. But then that undid the other discount code. Every time I tried to maneuver it, it thwarted me. So I gave up, and my wife called in and got the deal. This pair is so perfect, I can't wait to buy them cheaper online somewhere. What's your Wi-Fi password? That's from 2013. Yeah, I remember that one. Okay, so and you know, let's go over here to see the real extent of it. This is the real numbers that Tom Fishburne was alluding to. 14.5% of all retail sales have been returned, and 101. Let's see, 101 billion has been lost to abuse and fraud. Although when I Marianne Campbell, she had a good article that was about how most of the fraud was on the way to the store, not out of the store, and a third was employees, a third was in transportation, and a third was in retail out the door. And so it wasn't as simple as just fraudulent orders. So 13.7% of the returns are fraudulent. When we were working with Bullock and Jones, they felt like they had a problem with people ordering and then wearing the items and then returning them. And so we added a cost of returns to our customer variables. So we kept track. If you placed a $100 order and then so a $100 order, let's say it was a $50 margin, gross margin, and maybe those days were maybe $10 or $15 for shipping and handling. Okay, so you had a $35 net profit on the order, more or less. And maybe advertising, we'd suck some more out of there for advertising, 10% or something. Okay, so anyway, you're down to $10 of profit, net profit, after we mailed you and all that. But now you return it, and so now you've got zero. You've got a 100 minus 100. And you also have a $10, $15 order processing cost. Okay, so now you've got a negative $5 or whatever. And so no matter what your RFM, because you had a negative cost of goods, a negative EBITDA net profit lifetime value, you were much less likely to get remailed. And I'm often surprised that more mailers don't use that sort of thing. I remember Hammacher Schlemmer really liked that too. That's an easy way to incorporate your return problem customers into your customer selection in direct mail. Okay. Now it's harder in every other medium because you don't know who's really seeing your ad. Okay. So anyway, it's a big problem, and online sales had almost 18%, which means that probably the retail sales was more like 13%. Okay, and half of the in-store returns began their life as an online purchase, and that can be partly because if you go to most websites, there's no good dimensions of a product given. There's no size reference, right? What is a size reference? Well, if you're selling a golf shirt, or you're selling what would be something that's, well, like a golf tee could be various sizes. If you put it next to a golf balls can't be various sizes, right? So if you put a, some kind of kitchen item, you might want to put next to it, a kitchen measuring spoon or something like that. So that in the picture, there's something that gives your brain a reference point as to the size, or you group a few similar sized items together so that there's a reference point. So many times I bought something online and it's considerably smaller or considerably bigger than I expected. Why? Because my brain provided the size reference and and there wasn't anything else to go on. So the idea of a gray catalog with little boxes of product pictures is probably not the best way to avoid returns. It's one of those problem areas, right? And one of the reasons that I like eBay is because most of the merchants stand behind their products, and so they do give you the dimensions. Okay, so it turns out that the online sales are more problematic, and that's probably because they don't know the rules. They haven't got the history of sales in the offline world that the catalogers have. Okay, this was an interesting article. Mark Ritson's top 10 marketing moments. His first was Amazon's Christmas turkey, and that was the commercial where the three little old ladies went tobogganing with their helmets and other stuff that they bought from Amazon. I liked it. I talked about it, and Ritson kind of liked it, but most importantly, John Evans, I think it is, over at System 1, liked it a lot. Okay, so I know it's John with a J-O-N, no H, not much I remember. But anyway, and so System 1 ranked it in one of its highest, as one of its highest ranked fall commercials this year. So Ritson says, doesn't matter what I think of it, it's what customers think of it, right? And Amazon produced that one themselves in-house, and I thought it was wonderful. Teared me up the first time I watched it because it reminded me of tobogganing in my youth. Okay, Netflix increased their prices. Some people do it pretty well. The first thing they did was knock off friends and family. If they would have raised the prices first, but let you keep your friends and family on your account, we might still have it. But my daughter, who shared it with me, got so upset she canceled it for herself and for us. And we haven't really missed it, to be honest. There's plenty of TV out there, right, if you just want to watch stuff. And how about those Packers? What a great time to play a football game. New Year's Eve against the Vikings, the vaunted, hated Vikings. Got shredded. It was great. Okay, so Ritson says, this smells of finance and ops and all those very smart, very square people that don't understand the customer, says Ritson. Okay, Tesla decided that though it never discounts its vehicles, it was going to give 20% off. And Ritson says that was a huge mistake. Ritson spells out why discounting needs to be undertaken with care if it's to be successful. Apparently it didn't even work, cut your margins and all that. Guinness becomes UK's #1 pint. Mark loved that boot, the Guinness boot that looks from the back like a pint of Guinness. I thought it was pretty clever, but I didn't even get it, because I don't see a pint of Guinness sitting on a bar very often. And here, this is really important. Marketing thinks it's P for promotion and P for price, but it's really P for product that will always be the most important. And Guinness, according to Ritson, is a great example of how marketing can showcase that. The end of wear out, he says, old ads that were good are still good, and stinky ads that are stinky still stink. Barbie was able to do brand extension. Not only has Barbie enjoyed a significant licensing income boost and salience, it revitalized Barbie as a brand with the silly Barbie movie, which I did eventually watch. Unilever revisits purpose. Actually, Unilever has decided that there isn't that much purpose in Hellmann's mayonnaise, though they tried to push that for a while, that with good mayonnaise you can recycle your food and get more life expectancy out of it. And we all laughed and thought that was crazy. Rebranding Twitter, not only is rebranding Twitter stupid, but rebranding anything is stupid. And I think it's time they brought back the name Twitter. There's no upside into getting into the debate of all of the social justice issues you can take on. And Mark has caved in a little bit. He says we're obsessed with new things, but he thinks there's space for AI in the research and data area. Okay, and I obviously gave you a demo of how I was able to create a nifty little fake picture with AI, although more recently I've had more trouble. That I must have got lucky. And it's usually easier just to take a picture off the internet and then add text over the top of it and do what you want with it. It takes much less time than trying to get the the prompts right. Okay, and since we've had focus on the customer, I thought I would share with you Bob Bly's one of his latest recent newsletters. Start with the prospect, not with the product. Okay? He says, think about their goals, problems, needs, hopes, fears, dreams, and aspirations. And of course, if there are any, that's really good. I don't know how exactly you get into the brain of the customer. So I don't know how to do this. I think it is okay to look at the product. I think Guinness proves that. Okay, I'm not even sure about my own goals, problems, needs, hopes, fears, dreams, and aspirations. They change from day to day. But Bob says effective copy speaks directly to a specific audience and identifies their preferences, quirks, behaviors, needs, and requirements. I say do testing. A recruitment brochure for a computer consulting firm has this headline on the cover. Introducing a unique career opportunity only a few dozen computer professionals in the country will be able to take advantage this year. The headline is effective because it focuses on the prospects, information system professionals, and one of their main concerns in life, their career, rather than the consulting firm and its history, as most brochures do. And he's right about that. You know, and David Ogilvy used to say, if you have a liver remedy, say, do you suffer from liver ailments? So that at least you focus it down on the people who might actually be interested in it, more information. Right from the customer's point of view, not ours. Example, introducing our Guard Health Employee Benefit Program. Instead, write it like this. At last, you can combat the huge health insurance premiums threatening to put your small business out of business. Okay, and I think that's good news from Bob Bly. That's it for today. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. I'm going to build a new page for the 2024 show notes. Going to start over for the year. And don't forget, if you want to call and talk, the number's down below. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.